Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is OJ Stellar and here we go. I did a little poll on my Instagram story asking what my next YouTube video should be about. Option 1, getting groomed by a psychic. Option 2, my career path lore. And option 3, my first WLW relationship. Answer did come back more so in favor for my career path lore, which I'm honestly surprised about, but I think I'm gonna just fell off of the very legit setup that it's on, which is a rolled up yoga mat with a washcloth behind the phone to steady it. It's really hard for me to stay on one topic, but I'm going to try. I'm going to give little tidbits of things here and there and also update you guys on the last week that I've had, which was crazy. I had 3 shows this week. I had my weekly show, The Download with Kate Lav. Last night, we went to Trevi Moran's release party for her song Digital Empathy. Stream it. And I'm gonna insert a clip right here of Kate giving an intro for this video. Oh!
Hey! It's about to be the best night of our lives. We are going to Trevi's release party for Digital Empathy, her new single. How do you feel?
I feel excited!
Yay! Wait, let me record you.
Oh.
How are you feeling tonight? Okay, hey, what's your goal for tonight?
Oh my god, my goal is to laugh a lot.
Oh my god! Awesome! Hey.
And dance.
No, because y'all don't want to dance anymore and it pisses us off.
Literally, we're trying to get down. Isn't she just gorgeous? We had a good time. And then here's another shot of us in the Uber on the way to the party.
Got some white girl, got that white girl. Doing my ton of life
Off of her titty.
Ain't tryna fuck, I just wanna replace. Feeling so global, I think I need nation. Ratchet on deck and they know.
I'm trying to get head while smoking a blunt.
Take it to my hotel.
Look at pussy up. T-Pain. Okay, the party was so much fun last night. That was like the most LA party that I've ever been to. Like Trevi Moran, it's her party, you know, Tana Mojo is there. Like, but so Kate and I are going against the grain, and at one point it's just like us two up and we're just like breaking it down. Okay, and we're just like having a great time. We're eating the cake. I met a bunch of like really cool people, really cool influencers, but mainly I was like sticking to my girl, and I look up because she is 6 feet above, right? Had to shout it out. But the party was really fun, and at one point we go to the bathroom and I come out of the bathroom and of course I'm like, it smells crazy, it wasn't me, which it really wasn't. But I get out of the bathroom and Vivian is there, and I'm kind of like struck a little bit because I was like, oh shit. But I was like, act cool, you know, like you're 31, this person is like 20, like you saw them go viral, and I think that she is like one of the most important people on the planet, being that she is Elon Musk's daughter, and be like, he sucks and money is dumb. I was like, wow, you're gorgeous, and I'm obsessed. Anyways, it was really fun. Trevi's song is so good. I don't even like pop music like that, and Digital Empathy is such a good song. She had this dress on that had literal USBs and microchips all over it. It was a moment. Lady Gaga would have been like, wow, I could never. So we had a great time. And I'm about to go to the movies with my friend Sydney Summers, who I used to do my podcast with. A lot of people think that we had some like call her daddy-esque falling out, and that's why we stopped doing the podcast. But really, she one day was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I said, okay. And I'm really actually so grateful that she wanted to stop doing it, because I have been able to focus on other things. So I'm going to see that movie together. That movie with, I was about to say Brie Larson. Is it Allison Brie or Brie Larson? I'm forgetting in this moment. And Dave Franco. It's like a horror movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited to see it. Some of the promo was a little cringy for me, but Sydney and I also went to go see the movie Weapons. When I say that I have never been so disturbed by a movie before in my life, and I've seen some messed up masterpieces, okay? And I'm not like a horror head or anything, but I do love a good psychological thriller. Weapons was like something I've never seen before. When that movie ended, I said, wow, we all deserve compensation. Like, I'm gonna be scarred forever. I was like, they need to pay for my therapy. Like, this is... And I'm a very reactive person. Like, if someone comes up behind me, I'm like, ah! You know, I'm very, very reactive, and I can't control that. I'm sure it's very annoying at times. So when I say that I'm literally screaming at the top of my lungs watching this movie Weapons, I'm not lying. And guess what? I got a rash from watching this movie Weapons. You know, I knew it was going to be good because they said that Jordan Peele was like bidding on it, and then when his team couldn't get like the top bid to get the movie, he fired everybody. I'm either like completely locked into a movie or I'm asleep. Like, that amount of stimulation, noise, the big screen, like, I'm either like, or I'm like fully in the fetal position snoring. Oh my God, I want to talk about the psychic. This is not going to be the full story. I am just going to give you guys a little bit of context because it's just so crazy, and it's such a huge chapter of my life that I really had to like push out of my mind for a while, I think. And okay, I'm an avid journaler. Okay, ever since I saw The Notebook, I was like, I'm gonna forget everything that goes on in my life. I'm not gonna remember a damn thing. So I better start writing this shit down, right? So ever since 2013, I have journaled very consistently. In the last like 3-4 years, it has been like very much every day. But I did start in 2013, and when I moved to Los Angeles, my mom sent me a package in the mail with like 4 of my completed journals. And you know what? It did get stolen. Yeah, that's when I was living in Venice, and yeah, somebody hopped the fence and stole all the packages from the front. First one I had ever written, and a couple of when I was with this woman. Do I say her real name? I'm just gonna call her D, okay? So I had a lot written down of like my time with D, and those journals were stolen. So it's not my fault if I don't have all the memories, okay? Okay, somebody had mentioned on my video like, oh my God, I can't believe you've been through so much trauma. I do just want to say that in my mind, I'm not really sharing anything traumatic that has happened to me. Maybe getting into this psychic grooming stuff a little bit, but like in my mind, I'm not trauma dumping on you guys at all, because in the spectrum of like my lived experience, it's like nothing. It's like a grain of sand on the beach. But if at any point you guys feel like I am trauma dumping on you, please let me know and I will dial it back. Nothing crazier when you're like casually telling a story that you think is like kind of lighthearted and like not a big deal, and like a 0.3 on the Richter scale. And they're like, what? And you're like, now I know I can't say anything to you. Anyway, quick AC break. C manual, yep. Tire pressures, yep. The brake, yep. Literally everything is wrong with my car, and I need to get it fixed. And I need to renew my passport. And there's so many things that I need to do, and I will do them. And I just simply will. Oh yeah! Oh baby, when you talk like that, I first met this woman, D, when I was 17. I had gotten into a car accident. Somebody rear-ended me, and I was going to a chiropractor to help with my neck injury. Right away, I felt very irked, almost like this woman is bad. D is the office manager of this chiropractor's office, okay? So when I come in for the first time for my intake, she takes me into the back to do my x-rays. And we're just like making small talk, and I was just like, oh, how long have you worked here? And she was like, oh, this is my job. My work is something much grander, or whatever she said, right? And I was like, it's interesting. I was like, oh, what do you mean? And she was like, oh, I'm a psychic, spiritual medium, healer, practitioner, whatever. I don't remember what she said. I think she was just like, I'm a healer. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. Like, me and my mom both kind of like in tuned with otherworldly things, I would say. So I was open to hearing about it, and I was like, oh wow, that's so interesting. Can you tell me more? And she was like, how much time do you have? Because I could talk to you for lifetimes about this. And it was like a light, like a switch turned on in my head. I don't know if I mentioned this, but she's like in her late 30s and I'm 17. I'm 17. She's probably like 38 at the time. And, or 40. I don't know. But so I was like, yeah, I'd love to hear more. And she was like, I want you to take a month and decide if you really are ready for this. And I was just like, whoa. Everything about your life is about to unravel, like your whole ontology of reality, everything. Like if you start working with me, you're never going to be the same again. I was like, okay, that's kind of like intense. Who is this woman, right? I was discovered by this psychic that day when I was 17, and she convinced me to start working with her one-on-one after I took a month to decide if I was ready for it, like she said. So we start working together one-on-one, and we would see each other every week for a couple hours. I would do like an hour-long session on her, and she would do an hour-long session on me. And you might be thinking, what the hell are you talking about? A session would be polarity therapy. I would say that it's like more intense than Reiki. Definitely deeper. Reiki's like you're kind of like hovering the body. And what I was doing was very hands-on. And then what she was doing was very hands-on. There were some times where she was doing like work on me and like pressing so hard that I would like almost like throw up and get sick. So we worked together for years and years and years. Like there's so much that I could talk about. I don't even know where to begin. But so from 17 to 24, I worked with this woman very closely and very often. And because I was a minor, you might be like, what the hell's going on? Did your parents know? And I remember telling them that I was about to start working with like a psychic spiritual energy healer. My parents were weary, but they couldn't say shit. Like they knew that if they were to like tell me that they don't think I should do it or come at me with any resistance, that I would just like go harder into what I was doing. It was a wild ride. Like, I don't know if you guys know Teresa Caputo, the Long Island medium, but sometimes being out with her in public, like, she would just go up to people and start reading for them, and it would always like seem to ring true. She would put me in a lot of tests where she would like have me read somebody's energy on the spot, always. Like it was, but okay, it was bad though, because she started convincing me I was having panic attacks, which like looking back, I think I was just like having some anxiety, like being around her. Like once we went on a skiing trip and I like met her parents. So weird. And on the way up, I don't do well with sleepovers like at all. I just like don't like them. I like to sleep alone. But on the way up, we're in her truck and she like hands me, she's like, you're having a panic attack. And I was like, am I? Like, I don't think I was. And she handed me a Klonopin and she was like, this is just gonna like neutralize the energy that's coming up. She's like, people like you and me, so much energy comes into us and it's like, it's hard to navigate, it's hard to manage, and this Klonopin just neutralizes it. And I was like, okay, like, I don't know. And so that began this whole thing of like her giving me Klonopin a lot. I would not always accept it. Sometimes I would pretend to take it, like, and we would always drink together after we would get like work done, like doing sessions on each other. I wasn't always legal to drink, obviously. For the first like 4 years of us hanging out, I was not legal to drink. So she would buy me alcohol and give me Klonopin. So that in itself is like so crazy. And she would always like make fun of me for being gay. And like, mind you, I was like out, like I came out as bisexual in middle school, but I wasn't like, I don't know. I was out and she knew I was bi, but when we would have sleepovers, which like, why were we ever having sleepovers? Why was that ever happening? She would put pillows in between us and she was like, this is so you don't try anything. Like, she's a 40-year-old woman. I'm a teenager, mind you. And also, again, why are we having sleepovers? It's so weird. But basically, so much crazy-ish happened with her, as you could imagine. And it all ended when I was 24. I was supposed to go camping for the first time in my life. Go camping with her, and you know, I had this boyfriend at the time who ended up being a cannibal. So that's a whole other story. But we're camping and she's getting wasted. She's taking more and more Klonopin. It's like all day she's like wasted. she like introduces us to this couple. I didn't realize that they were like swingers. I didn't realize that she had hooked up with them before. I didn't realize they were cops. Didn't know they were cops, but anyway, we're all on their boat and everyone's hooking up, and I had my boyfriend, the cannibal, at the time. But he's like a kind of a hero in this story. He was like actually very helpful in this situation, because it turns into this like sex boat situation. Everyone's hooking up and she's like, OJ, why are you being such a prude? Like, blah, 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 you know, whatever. And I was just like, I feel so uncomfortable. But the one thing about a boat is that you can't go anywhere, honey. So I'm basically like, no. And she's like fully having sex with this couple that I found out were cops. And there was this other woman there. And me and my boyfriend were just like literally sitting in the corner like, what? And she's like freaking out at me, like yelling at me, telling me that I'm judging her. I'm like, I'm really not judging you. But like, keep in mind, she had been there was nothing ever sexual. Well, she had like painted it in this way that like she was so anti-sexual with me for so long. Even though there were some weird times. And like, honestly, even me just talking about this now, a lot of memories are like coming back. And again, this is like very formative, and of course like some pieces are traumatic, but I don't consider it to be like capital T trauma. Or like, yeah, basically after 8 years of working with her, it all ended on this boat, and she was like screaming at me and I was crying. I don't know what you want from me, like I feel so uncomfortable, I don't want to do anything, you know. And my boyfriend at the time like stepped in. She was like, she would use a lot of like psychic gaslighting on me, and like a lot of like psychics are very not all of them are bad, but it all ended that night. Like we get off the boat and I grab my shit and I drive like 3 hours home, and I never saw her again. Just kidding. I saw her 1 year later, because I ended up having to break up with the cannibal for obvious reasons. And I saw her one last time, and it was like tying a bow on the experience, I think. But that whole thing is so insane. Like getting discovered by a psychic to then just... But again, like I learned a lot. I learned a lot from all of that, and I learned, you know, a lot. And you know what? Yeah, I do have mommy issues. I'll say it. And you know what? Yeah, that is a big reason why I was so susceptible to this, I would say. But okay, that's all I have time for right now. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing. And I feel like I really wanted to organize this story to make it like easier to digest, but it's really just so insane. And I really need to like, I don't know, meditate on the whole experience and process it in a way so I can better retell it to y'all. But I love you. Thank you so much. Mwah.